Hello, Andrew Hinkaguna here, giving you my thoughts on my favourite player of all time, David Rocastle, who sadly passed away 20 years ago, I beg your pardon, and still miss the guy all the time, still think about David all the time. He's the one really that gave me and really solidified my love of Arsenal in the first place. Whilst a lot of my schoolmates in London, South East London, the area where David himself and Ian Wright grew up, my school was right near the area. We used to play their school all the time, Crofton Park. My school was Mallory, and I suppose that really was a big part of the reason why David was such a special player to me, because I grew up in and around the area where he was from as well. But yeah, a lot of my school friends were Liverpool fans at the time because they were dominating football. So I was one of not many Arsenal fans at my school, believe it or not. And they had John Barnes, and then we had David Rocastle, who I believe, although I loved John Barnes as a player as well, he scared the life out of me whenever we played them. To me, David Rocastle was a more all-round complete player than John Barnes. He could do everything. You could put him anywhere on a pitch, David Rocastle, and he would survive and thrive. He had the skill and the technical ability of a top Brazilian player, but he also had this real strength and power and strong attitude of your typical British player as well. And some of the goals he scored we've all seen. My favourite goal of all time being the one he scored where I was actually present at the ground, which made it even more special, when he scored the slalom running dribble past about 6 players against Middlesbrough, and stuck it in the top right hand corner. And it was just amazing to be there on that day and see that in person. And those are the sort of moments that I will forever treasure. Also being at the match away to Aston Villa the same season as the Middlesbrough goal, when he did that amazing sort of chest and lob from about 35-40 yards into the back of their net. And I also had my lowest moment at a football match when I nearly saw him die in front of my eyes, when the amazing Gary Lewin saved his life by fishing his tongue out of his throat that was blocking his airways, and he was technically dead for a minute or two on the pitch. And I was only literally maybe about 15-20 feet away from him when it happened, and I just had a tear rolling down the side of my face, because I thought that we'd lost him on the pitch right in front of me, and I was only a young kid at the time. But yeah, Gary Lewin had to famously break his jaw to actually get the obstruction cleared and saved his life. So I've been through an awful lot in my time with David Rocastle. I never met him to speak to. I've seen him in person several times, and outside the ground I saw him sort of on the outside Highbury a few times, when those were the days when you can actually see the players arriving at the ground and walking up to it. I wish I'd had the chance to speak to him, because everyone loved him, and no one had a bad word to say about him. He was a wonderful person off the pitch and a wonderful player on it as well. So I will always miss him, and he will always be in my heart, and I'm very, very proud of the way that the club have remembered him as well, recently and in the past. So he may be gone, but he will never be forgotten. R.I.P. David.